People spend their whole lives trying to forget stuff. Bad exes, embarrassing moments, that one time you waved at someone who wasn't waving at you. Dementia grants that wish, except you don't choose what gets deleted. Your brain decides, and it starts with things like your daughter's name, where you live, or how to feed yourself. So you want to get dementia ASAP. The good news is your lifestyle is probably already doing most of the work. Over 55 million people are already there. And unlike diseases that make you work for it, dementia rewards laziness. The less you do for your brain, the faster it falls apart. Your brain runs 86 billion neurons at once. Right now, it's processing this video, keeping your organs alive, and holding on to every memory that makes you who you are, all simultaneously. It's the most complex thing in the known universe, but it can be taken apart. Dementia isn't just getting old and forgetful. Your brain is physically shrinking, neurons dying, connections snapping, and dementia isn't one disease, it's a category. Think of it as a genre. Alzheimer's is the blockbuster, 60 to 80% of all cases. Vascular dementia, Lewy body, frontotemporal, those are the indie films. Still devastating, just less famous. Here's what they all have in common. Your brain starts deleting itself, neurons die, connections break, the brain physically shrinks. In Alzheimer's specifically, two things go wrong. Toxic proteins called beta amyloid build up between your brain cells, while twisted fibers called tau tangles choke them from the inside. Your brain is rotting from within, quietly, and by the time you notice, it's already too late. But here's the thing, your brain isn't defenseless. It actually has a built-in cleaning crew. It's called the glymphatic system, and it might be the most underrated thing in your entire body. During deep sleep, your brain cells physically shrink by about 60%, opening up gaps between them. Fluid rushes through those gaps and power washes out all the toxic buildup from the day. Guess what's in that waste? Beta amyloid, the exact protein that forms Alzheimer's plaques. So every night you get deep sleep, your brain runs the dishwasher. Every night you don't, the gunk stays, builds up layer after layer, night after night. One study found that a single night of sleep deprivation increased beta amyloid in the brain by about 5%. One night. Now, imagine 10 years of sleeping 5 hours because you function fine on less sleep. No, you don't. Your brain has been drowning in its own waste, and it's been too busy keeping you alive to tell you. You sleep 5 hours and treat it like a flex. Post about your 5 a.m. morning routine like it's a personality trait. Meanwhile, your brain's cleaning crew hasn't clocked a proper shift in years. The trash is piling up and you think you're being productive. That trash is accumulating fastest in your hippocampus, the part of your brain that stores memories. And it's the first area Alzheimer's attacks, and you're leaving the door wide open. Now let's talk about alcohol. Alcohol and your brain have a relationship. And by relationship, I mean alcohol shows up, breaks things, and leaves your brain to clean up the mess. A few beers on the weekend, wine with dinner, nothing crazy. Except alcohol literally shrinks your brain, specifically the hippocampus, the part responsible for memory. But you don't need to be an alcoholic. Even moderate drinking, 7 to 14 drinks a week, shows up as measurable brain shrinkage on an MRI. That's not a metaphor. That's a scan of your head showing how your brain is physically getting smaller. Here's the combo though. Alcohol also destroys your sleep quality. You might pass out for 8 hours, but your brain barely enters deep sleep. You're damaging your brain and disabling the only system that repairs the damage. 2-for-1 special. Efficiency. The hippocampus is where your memories live. One day you will look at someone you love and for a second, just a second, you won't know who they are. That's what a damaged hippocampus feels like. Your brain is a use it or lose it organ, and one of the most powerful things you can do for it isn't puzzles or Sudoku, it's talking to other humans. Social interaction forces your brain to process emotions, body language, humor, context, tone, memories, all at once. It's a full brain workout every time you have a conversation. And when you stop doing it, your brain notices. Studies show that social isolation increases the risk of dementia by 50%, not 5, 50. Loneliness literally accelerates brain decay. And modern life has made going dark easier than ever. You can order food without speaking to anyone, work remotely without seeing a face, go weeks without a real conversation, and still feel connected because you liked someone's Instagram story. But scrolling is not socializing. Your brain knows the difference even if you don't. A screen doesn't make your brain process tone, or read micro-expressions, or navigate awkward silences. It just sits there receiving content like a couch receiving a person. Think about your week. How many real face-to-face conversations did you actually have? If you can count them on one hand, your social brain is collecting dust. The parts of your brain that handle social processing share real estate with the parts that handle personality and identity. When they start shutting down, you don't just lose the ability to connect with people, you start losing who you are. And it goes beyond just people. Your brain needs stimulation, period. Let's talk about the actual term brain rot. Gen Z turned it into a meme, neuroscience turned it into a diagnosis. Your brain builds new connections every time you learn something new. It's called neuroplasticity. Learning a language, picking up an instrument, navigating a new city, all of this forces your brain to create new pathways. More connections, more backup routes, more redundancy for when things start failing. When you stop, your brain starts pruning. It dismantles connections it doesn't use. The infrastructure disappears because nobody showed up. Exercise matters too. Physical activity increases something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Fancy name, simple job, it's fertilizer for your neurons. Running, walking, even dancing literally grows new brain cells. But if you're sitting 10 hours a day consuming the same content on loop, your BDNF is in the basement and your brain is running on fumes. When was the last time you actually learned something new? Not watched a video about it, actually learned it, built something, struggled with something. If your days are the same routine, same content, same everything, your brain is tearing down roads you might need later. I've spent this whole video teaching you how to break your brain, so what does winning actually look like? It starts small. You forget where you put your keys. You walk into a room and forget why. Everybody does this sometimes, but with dementia, it doesn't stop. You start forgetting conversations you had yesterday, then you forget people you've known for decades. Your wife walks in and for a moment you don't recognize her. Then the moment gets longer, then it doesn't come back. You lose words, not obscure ones, basic ones. You want to say chair and your brain just doesn't have it. The file's been deleted. You can feel the gap where the word used to be, but nothing fills it. The way you laughed, the things you cared about, how you saw the world, it dissolves. You become paranoid, angry at people who are trying to help you, afraid of rooms you've been in 1,000 times. You accuse your family of stealing because your brain can't explain where things went. They're not stealing, your brain is. You get lost in your own neighborhood. You walk out the front door and don't remember how to get home. This happens to thousands of people every year. And then come the lucid moments, the cruelest part. Sometimes, for a few minutes, you come back, you recognize your daughter, you know where you are, you realize what's happening to you, and then it fades, and you forget that you ever remembered. Eventually, you can't eat alone, can't dress yourself, can't brush your teeth, your entire independence, everything you built over a lifetime, taken apart piece by your own brain. 55 million people are living with this right now. And the harsh truth is that there is no cure. If you followed this guide, you've built a solid dementia speedrun. Sleep deprivation to disable the cleaning crew, alcohol to shrink the hardware, social isolation to starve the network, and zero stimulation to make sure nothing new gets built. But here's what makes this speedrun different from the others. Your body might keep going long after your mind has checked out. Your heart still beats, your lungs still breathe. You can live for years, sometimes a decade, in a body that works while your brain can't remember why it exists. Your body was designed to survive. Your mind was designed to be used. And when you stop using it, it doesn't wait for permission to start shutting down. You still remember everything right now. Every name, every face, every password, every moment that made you who you are. And right now, you can't imagine losing any of it. The thing about dementia is you never know when it starts. You don't notice the files deleting. You just wake up one day and can't remember what you forgot. Subscribe if you like this video and see you in the next one.